there that I really like that. When you're walking down, you don't notice it. Walking back, you do.
Yellows and greens and blues is beautiful.
Yeah, the richness of the coffee, you go from the light green through to the border.
Yeah.
And the blue is the richer copper.
Hence bluestone.
But copper in its natural form is relatively nothing if you dug it straight out of the rock, but when it oxidises, when it comes in contact with the air, it changes colour, and yeah, it does look quite pretty.
Yeah.
But it's the same, you get a bit of copper that's been treated. After a while, some of that does tend to go to green colour.
Well, it does.
Too.
It
Yeah.
does.
Just imagine many years ago, they load up their cart, they'd take it out. If they just put rubbish and that in it, it would just all be dumped.
Yeah.
And then back in with the cart again and get more.
So when you said they hauled it to Queenstown, were they using bullock teams, horses or human power?
I reckon a lot of it would have been human. I've never heard of bullocks being used anywhere, so there would have been some horses, no doubt. In the beginning, it would have just been humans. So a lot of this, with the way the weather was, they probably solidly mined it for a while.
Yeah.
And then took it up. And probably spent so much time in Queenstown.
In the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
When they were broke,
came back again.
come back again.
We had quite a few pubs.
Yeah, how many was it? 14 or 17 or something?
14, I think, was around the norm. Now we've got 2. When I was a teenager, yeah, we didn't have as many as what there was in its heyday, but we used to go out and do a pub crawl. Of course, you're underage then. We'd go out and do a pub crawl. There'd be one pub you wouldn't go into because that's the pub your parents drank at. And you'd be lucky to go. If you started one pub, that was the only time you ever went back to the same pub. That was where you'd finish. You'd meet up with your friends again and finish at the same pub. But you could go out nearly the whole night and, yeah, not go to the same pub or sit in the other pubs for too long. Just catching up with friends, not so much drinking, just catching up with everybody. And so there was one pub we all missed. You didn't want to go in where your parents were drinking. No. I can imagine what every second Friday afternoon would have been like in Queenstown, or I know. They used to have a little dark alleyway.
Yeah.
And that was where the pay office was. And I know how dark and that it was and what happened, because my father, for quite a few years, actually, he was a butcher by trade.
Yeah.
And he managed the Mount Life butchery, and the dark alley was at the side of the butchers. And about 1 or 2 o'clock every afternoon, the payoff, every second Friday afternoon, sorry, the pay office would open. And you'd have the men lined up to get their pay, and the women would be standing out on the footpaths. Now, the men had to get their pay and then hand whatever money over to the women. So the men would go straight down to the pub, and the women would go do their shopping or whatever. But there was a big problem. Even though everyone knew everyone, like the population was a lot more in town then.
Yeah.
The wives couldn't collect the husband's pay without a handwritten note. What? No word of a lie. They had to have a handwritten note. If they didn't have it, the pay went back up to the company office, and the men had to go and collect it if they were at work or sick or away, and they hadn't given their wives a handwritten note. The wives had to wait until they came back to get it. I'd like to see someone.
They couldn't read and write.
Well,
Tough luck.
no, they had to give them a handwritten note.
Try that today.
I'd like to see someone try it today.